Hello, everyone. This is Independent Conservative. I am Ryan Bowling. Thank you all for joining me once again. So, the DNC is officially over, from what I understand. I did not get a chance to watch the DNC, and in fact, had I had a chance to watch the DNC extensively, I would not have watched it extensively. I mean, I barely watch the RNC. It's not something that I'm into. I'd rather read articles on it, and I might listen to a few speeches, some aspects of some of the speeches, but not much. It just kind of gets boring after a while for me. I'm just real with you, okay? Both RNC and DNC, but I certainly wouldn't have bothered to sit up and listen to the vomit that a lot of these speakers from the DNC were spitting at the people. I've seen clips of it, clips and excerpts of their speeches in the DNC, and what I heard was atrocious. They weren't saying anything, so I'm not going to even go over all of that. What I saw and what I heard was a bunch of bull crap, okay, as far as I'm concerned. So I'm pretty sure most of the speeches, in terms of the length of those speeches, were meaningless, okay? I'm pretty sure that a lot of it, from what I'm hearing, had very little to do with policies, because they don't want to talk about policies, so we're not going to even get into that, okay? But what I'm understanding that is that the DNC is officially over. I think it was like 2 or 3 days. And put it in the comment box if you guys, I don't know if the RNC was that long. I really don't know. But if the RNC was only 1 day and the DNC was 3 days, why? You mean to tell me you're going to subjugate the masses of people to 3 days of bull crap from the DNC? I don't know. I'm just ignorant of that part of it. But anyway, it's supposedly officially over. So, gathering based on what I understand about the RNC and the speeches that I did hear a significant portion of Trump's speech. I heard some parts of Amber Rose, who I don't know that much about. There's a lot of criticism about her, and she's kind of like a skank, according to some people's interpretations. Look, I don't know. But I heard some of her speech, and I liked it, Not just simply because she's on the Republican side, but because of things that she was saying made a lot of sense. They were dealing with policies, okay? But then in comparison to the things that I've heard from the DNC, from the people that I did hear, like that one lady, white lady, she has long hair, and she's talking, and she's like licking her lips out every few, and I'm like, what is she doing? And it was just weird to me. They talk about the Republicans being weird, but some of that stuff was just weird and off in the DNC. So it's officially over. The bottom line is it's officially over. And what I wanted to just talk about just for a few minutes is inevitably what did this all come down to? Because you have the RNC, you have them saying what they have to say. You have the DNC, you have them saying what they have to say. What does this all come down to? And really what it's going to all come down to at the end of the day is going to all come down to the American people. Now, you may ask, well, because it's always coming down to the American people. But in the past, it's has been usually based on emotion and feeling and not policies, okay? And I think based on what I have been observing from the DNC and from Democrats, everything is about emotion, stirring everyone up, getting everyone excited about Kamala Harris, from which I understand a vast majority of people didn't like her. Now all of a sudden they're liking her. All of a sudden that's a bunch of bull crap. I don't believe that one bit. I don't believe that. And if people are all of a sudden liking Kamala Harris, then woe unto them, shame on them. Because if you're going to allow the mainstream media to mess you up like that and allow these Democrats to get you so stirred up about a woman that you could care less about, that they lied 2,000 million times, if you're going to allow that to happen, then woe unto that person. Woe unto that person, because it would be null and void to try to sit up and have a logical conversation with someone like that. I don't waste my time. But a lot of the stuff has been about emotion. So now what it's going to come down to, the way I see it, is the American people are going to have to make a logical decision. They're going to have to come. It's going to come down to whether or not you want open borders, all this sexual provocation pushed on your kids in the school, high crime in the streets, wars and Ukrainian wars and all. It's going to come down to all this high inflation. It's going to come down to this. If that's what people want, and if they're going to allow the Democrats and the mainstream media to pump them up emotionally and not look at politics, not look at policies and not look at things logically here, then that's what they're going to do. They're going to vote on that portion. I'm praying and hoping that the American people in this doggone country will see the difference between the two. Yeah, you might not like Trump. Okay, no one's asking anyone to like Trump. My God, let's get past all of this baloney. That's one of the reasons why I kind of slowed down on doing these videos. Because for one, it's not like a lot of people's, I ain't going to get into all that. But anyway, that's one of the reasons why I kind of slowed down from doing these videos. Because it's like, I get so tired of people being ignorant, man. Willful ignorance aggravates the heck out of me. It just bothers me to the point where I want to just upchuck, And I'm not somebody so great and so grandeur. I'm not. Everything I am by the grace of God. There's a lot of things I don't know. I just don't. But then there's some things that I do know. And I think that what I know can help somebody. So it aggravates me when people just willfully see that there's a light down the tunnel over there and there's darkness over here, but they keep bopping down the tunnel of darkness no matter what, because the darkness somehow seeps into their veins and makes them feel high, gives them euphoria. Okay, if the person wants to stay in the matrix, fine. I want to unplug. I'm unplugging. I don't want to be in that matrix because it's an illusion. Okay, it's an illusion. But anyway, it's going to come down to the American people saying, you know what? I don't want open borders. We got to do something about that. I don't want this high crime. We got to do something about that. We got to stop, patting these criminals on their risk and letting them get away with murder. We got to stop allowing these illegal criminals coming in this country and getting away with murder, and the DAs feeling sorry for them. We got to stop all of that. We got to stop all these giving hundreds of billions of dollars to Ukraine and all this when we could be helping our own people here, poor people that homeless and stuff, trying to get up off. We're not helping them. We're helping the illegals, but we're not helping them. Now, none of that makes any sense. None of that makes any sense. And it's going to come down to the American people saying, okay, we got to stop all of that. I don't like Trump. I don't like how he talks about people. I don't like that. But liking and policies are two different things. Liking has to do with emotion. Policies has very little, if anything, to do with emotion. Policy has to do with the way the course of the country is going to go. Policies has to do with the worldviews of the politicians, okay? Something that Kamala Harris has been accused of not going into in detail. She may hit a little bit here or there because I think she spoke last night she was supposed to spoke. And from what I'm hearing, I don't know. I didn't hear her speech. So I can't make a individual assessment of her speech. But from what I'm hearing from other sources, she didn't do too well. It's the same old bull crap, salad that she's been tossing up for the last, 3 or 4 years. And she hasn't said, and from what I'm hearing, she didn't say much. So I don't know why I would subjugate myself to want to listen to it, But I'm going to eventually listen to what she has to say. If the mainstream media, or if I can get a clip of it and hear what she has to say, For the mainstream media don't want to cover it up and make it look like it's she's the greatest speaker since Martin Luther King. Okay, yeah. Supposedly, she spoke last night, and that was it. But even at that, it's like you have to get past all this. She didn't speak much on. She hardly ever speaks much on policies, and I don't know whether or not she's spoken on policies last night. Somebody please tell me that in the comment box. I have no clue. Did she go into it in detail? From what I'm reading, I've read that she didn't really go into detail on the policy. She's all over the place, So, hey. At the end of the day, it's going to come down to policies. That's what it's going to come down to, policies. And I can't wait till this debate takes place. I think the debate's supposed to take place in September. And I believe Kamala agreed to one. You know, why agree to, they wanted three. I mean, why agree to one? It's just ridiculous, man. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. It's going to come down to that. It's going to come down to whether or not, bottom line, can the American people look at both sides of the coin, Trump and Kamala Harris, and make a logical decision based on policies. Will that be the case this time? Or will it be the same thing it's been in the past, all about emotion? Oh, she's the first woman of color, and that's what we want to get in it. She's the first woman of color. I pray and hope the American people can move beyond such stupid ignorance as, and I'm just real with you, because that's stupid ignorance. Stupid, willful ignorance. Oh, we want to get her in there and we want to vote for her because she's the first woman of color to be the president. Man, come on. There's no logical reason whatsoever to put that woman in office because she's the first woman and the first woman or woman of color. Is that a logical reason to put her in there? Because these are things that I'm hearing from some people. I hope that's not a vast majority of the Americans. Whether they be white, whether they be black, whether they be Hispanic, whether they be Indian, it makes no difference. To vote for her based on those concepts is the stupidest thing I've ever heard times 10. I mean, come on, man. Come on, man. Come on. I hope I'm wrong. I hope that that's not a vast majority of the Americans. So, bottom line, it's going to come down to a decision. A decision based on logic. That's what it's going to come down to. It's going to come down to a decision based on logic, a decision based on common sense, and not a decision based on emotions and gender and color and all of that. It's going to have to be a decision based on logic. So let's see how this pans out. Let's see how this pans out. I am eager to see. But whatever the outcome is, I'm going to tell you this. Whatever the outcome is, now I'm going to get spiritual. What God has for me is for me. If Kamala Harris gets in office, I'm going to be ticked at the American people. I really am. And I'm not going to talk about politics no more to any American person. Well, for those on the left, I don't say nothing much to them anyway. The radicals, I don't say much anyway, because they're unsensible. There's all emotion with them, so I'm not going to even bother, because all that does is get me emotional and get me angry, so I don't even bother. But if that happens, ain't no need in talking to people on one-on-one basis anymore. I'm just going to sit back, fold my arms, and wait and see what happens. But what God has for me is for me, and regardless of whether or not Kamala gets in office or not. What he has for me is for me, and I'm going to be blessed no matter what. And really, when it comes down to it, on a non-spiritual level, if you really want to look at it, even if things may be limited if she gets in office in terms of inflation and so forth, because it's probably going to go up, okay? Because all these all this government spending that she's going to push, even at that, on a purely natural level, people could say, you know what, look, I'm not going to allow this to stop me. You may be limited and hindered in some areas, but don't allow it to stop you. Maybe that's my word of encouragement to anyone that's watching this. If Kamala Harris gets in office and you are not for her and she gets in office, don't let that stop you. You may be hindered in this area or slowed down in this area because of whatever, inflation or whatever, but still don't let her stop you. You know, don't let her screwed up policies stop you, because her policies are no different than Biden's policies, and really, according to some critics, worse than Biden's. Don't let it stop you. That's my word of encouragement, okay? But yeah, you know, I mean, what's for me is for me. So I'm not going to let that stop me. But I'm going to fold my arms though and sit back and watch. Because they wanted it. Now they got it. They didn't make a sensible decision in their vote. They went off of, oh, she's the first woman of color. Okay. What else is there to talk about? Why would I waste my time? Poof, be gone. I'm not going to even bother. That's how I look at it. Because it's hard to believe it is, but it is true. But it's hard to believe that people is that dumb. But they are. They are. And I say that not in a condemning way. I say it because there's all kinds of sources to educate yourself, and they know this, and people refuse to try to find out. I can't get with that. I can't get with that. To me, there's no excuse for that. The person that does that is just intellectually lazy, and they brain dead, and they don't want to know. They rather live in this euphoria the matrix of the media have made up for them. You know, and I can't get with that. There's no need of me wasting my time with people who are in that system. Yeah, I can't do it. God himself would have to pour out his spirit on me and show me you need to talk to this person. But other than that, look, man, that person deserves to get what they get. You reap what you sow. That's Bible. You reap what you sow. If you sow voting for this woman because she's a woman and a woman of color, and she gets in and puts forth policies that cause inflation to go up even higher than it is, put forth policies that's going to hurt your children in the schools, put forth policies that's going to be soft on crime, you deserve what you get. I'm just real with you. Not saying anyone here, but I'm just saying in general. You deserve it. I'm not going to feel sorry for you. I'm not going to be boo-hoo, because you had chance after chance after chance. Person had chance after chance after chance to obtain other sources of information that would help educate them and inform them, and they refuse to do it. I'm not, that's Bible. That isn't Ryan, that's Bible. That's God saying that. Well, that's God. Get mad at God. I'm just reflecting what he's thinking. I'm just saying. So yeah. Inevitably, it's going to come down to the American people making a logical decision. But let's see how that turns out. So that's what I had to say about that. What do you guys think about this? Leave your comments in the comment section below. Like, share, and subscribe to my channel. God bless you all. See you again.